Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Tim from the Cam Compound and it's time for our daily technical analysis video. Now I hope every single one of you has had a lovely Christmas and is ready to get back in the market, because the market is definitely ready to move again, as we can see today. So over the past week or so, we have been kind of bouncing between that 16,700 and 16,900 or 17,000 approximately, slowly leading up to an ascending triangle. Now, this ascending triangle did not manage to break through properly, because here on the 4 hour you see it broke under, and from there on out the chances were quite high that we would break back down under 16,700. Also, because we've hit it quite a couple of times. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. So a break now is not that strange. We also have this line right here, which would be 1, 2, 3. If we take it over the bodies, there we go. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 even. So this too is now a weak support, meaning that there's a good chance that we'll go back to 16,400, 500 approximately, and maybe even all the way back down to 16,000. That will depend on if we break this line right here or not over the coming couple of hours. There is still the possibility that we'll break back through, of course, but we will see. We could still see like a fake out under like we saw here, but that is less likely because we've already tapped this many times. Now we also see that, I'm sorry, I had a bit of a weird feeling in my mouth, and that is over now because I just had a quick bite, which is not smart before recording. I learned a thing today. So we also see that the monthly chart is, or the monthly candle is almost over. We have 5 days left, and we see that the volume is slowly going back down again, which would bring us into like a stagnant phase of the bull market, generally speaking, or bear market in this case, I mean. Meaning that we could still see some months of consolidation between 16,000 and 18,500 before we start continuing onwards. If we do break through 16,000, then of course we will probably continue onwards towards 12 to 13,000. And if we can manage to keep consolidating, we will slowly probably start moving back up as we prepare for the next halving event. That is Bitcoin in a nutshell at the moment. If we have a look at Ethereum, then we see pretty much a same story, but we do see that Ethereum on the monthly has made a symmetrical triangle. If this does break through, well, we can't say that we go another, well, 2,500 lower, because then we would be firmly negative, and that doesn't quite work. But we could say that if this does break through properly, there is another 70% drop in the cards, which would bring us back down to about 400 bucks, a little bit under 350, which is not great, but it would kind of bring us into this little support valley right here, which does make sense. It's not a great thing to think about, but it is something that we have to consider. So that is that for Ethereum. Let's have a quick look on the daily, what it's doing. And then we can see here that it is kind of similar to Bitcoin, where it is trying to break through its support line right here that we were talking about previously. If that happens, obviously the next big target would be that 1170 approximately, followed closely by 1100 and 1060 approximately. This one should be a bit lower. Oh, that's about fine. That 1070 to 1060 approximately. That's kind of what we're seeing. That is also what we're seeing in the alt market in general. So let's have a quick look at Matic, for instance, where we see that Matic is actually one of the strongest charts that we have at the moment. It's doing really well. We do see that it is a bit distribution-like, so it could be that we do still see a tap back down, but for now it is quite strong, and it could definitely go for like a higher low here and maybe move up to the $1 again. Could very well be, because the whole Polygon chain is working really hard and making some cool stuff at the moment. If we then have a look at AVE, We see that AVE is also not doing too shabby. We see it tried to make a double bottom right here. This is on the weekly. If we look at the daily, we see that it's actually doing fairly well and trying to break through this resistance and even manage to tap the 58 right there. It's perfect. It's doing very well. If we can close a bit higher, then we could just see a move back towards that 63. And lastly, we have the YDX, which is not quite as great currently. It's still moving down fairly rapidly. We just missed the the next scale in area, but for now it does seem like it wants to break through this support right here, and then we might just move on towards the $1 where we could take on another scale in and then possibly wait for a reversal. But we will have to see how that goes. That is kind of it for the market right now. So mainly we are seeing that supports are being broken, or that there is a decent chance of them being broken. They're being tested at the very least. Here we see Chilis as well, also getting ready for another nosedive, possibly. And that is kind of what we're seeing happening in the market currently. And of course, still on low liquidity because there's just not a lot of people in the market currently. So the movements can be fairly sporadic. That was it. Thank you so much for your attention again today, and I will see you all tomorrow. So keep cool, keep calm, keep compounding. Bye bye.